Our question is two blocks A and B attached to each other by a massless spring kept on a rough horizontal surface. Given mu is equal to 0.1 and pulled by a force of 200 Newton as shown in the figure. If at some instant 10 kg mass has acceleration of 12 meter per second square, what is the acceleration of 20 kg mass? Now let's write given figure. Now we have written the figure, which is, let's consider this a horizontal surface, rough surface, block A, block B, both attached to a spring and force acting on block B, which is F is equal to 200 Newton. Let's find out solution to it. Let's write given mu is equal to 0.1 and acceleration of block A is 12 meter per second square, and we have to find what's the acceleration of block B. Okay, now here let's observe one thing in the question. Read out the question where you will find it's pulled, which means the spring is elongated. Okay, elongated, and the force is acting in this direction. Okay, and now let's see what are the forces acting on these blocks. First, see, the gravitational force will be acting as usual due to mass, and normal force will be acting upwards, perpendicular to the surface, so it's acting upwards. Okay, now when the spring is elongated, now since we have got this word elongated, let's write like this. When it's elongated, let's see what are the forces are acting. Okay, now we have this normal force, gravitational force, and when the force which acts here. Okay, see, when it is elongated, there is a thing called spring force. Spring force means which will get this elongated spring to this position, so it acts throughout the spring and it acts on these blocks in the opposite direction. It acts inwards. Next, we have got these two forces, and when it pulls, since it is on horizontal rough surface, there is the frictional force acting. When it is pulling this side, so the frictional force acts opposite, so Fa. And to the B block also it's the same thing, the frictional force acts opposite. Now we have got the count of forces, this, and now there's also net force acting, right, in which acceleration is 12 meter per second square, and here we are finding it out, right? We are finding it out. We have a formula which is called net force is equal to mass into acceleration. Net force on block A, so MA AA. So what's the mass of the first block, which is 10, and acceleration is 12, so 120. Now here you know what are the forces acting on it, so that when you add all the forces it becomes the net force. So let's add all the forces. I'll write here. Now I'll be adding all the forces here. Okay. Now let me come from here. Fa. See, whenever it is acting backwards, it always gets minus sign. So minus Fa, and here N, which is also Ng, so both gets cancelled, where we don't include here in the normal force and Mg, gravitational force. So since normal force is also Mg, and even this is also Mg, see, normal force acting upward gets plus sign, and Mg acting downward gets minus sign. So Mg minus Mg is 0, so both gets cancelled. Next is Kx, which is spring force. We are writing it here, so forward direction, so it gets plus sign. (120). Now what's the formula of friction, which is minus, you'll be getting the same here, frictional force formula, which is mu n plus Kx is equal to 120. Now minus mu value they have given 0.1, n, which is also Mg, plus Kx is equal to 120. Now minus 0.1 m is, we are finding for block A, so block A mass is 10 into acceleration due to gravity is also 10. We are considering here in calculations as 10, but the actual value is 9.8, plus Kx is equal to 120. Now 10 into 10, 100. Here 0.1, which can also be written as 1 by 10, and here as usual minus. Now cancel one of the 0, plus kx is equal to 120. Now 10 minus 10 plus kx is equal to 120. Kx is equal to 120. When minus 10 comes to this side, it becomes plus 10. So kx value is 130. Next, let's see about block B. So same, net force is equal to MB AB. Now net force, let's see in this figure, which is here kx is acting backwards. Kx is acting in the backward direction, so kx gets minus sign. And in the same way, FB, frictional force, is also acting backwards, so even this gets minus sign. And the other force which was mentioned in question, that is 200 Newton, is acting forward. Now let's write 200 Newton gets plus sign, and spring force gets minus sign, whereas frictional force also gets minus sign, which is equal to MB AB. Now 200, here you're taking minus sign as the common. Next, kx plus FB is equal to MB AB. Now 200 minus, you have got the kx value, which is 130, plus FB, which is mu n, is equal to MB AB. Now 200 minus 130 plus mu value is 0.1, and n, which is also mg, so mass value is 20, and acceleration due to gravity is 10, is equal to MB is 20 and AB, we will find it out. Next, 200 minus 130 plus 1 by 10 into 20 into 10 is equal to 20 AB. Now 10 gets cancelled. 130 plus 20 is 150. 200 minus 150 is equal to 20 AB. 200 minus 150, which is 50, equals to 20 AB. 5 by 2 is equal to AB. 5 by 2 is 2.5 is equal to AB, which is AB is equal to 2.5 meter per second square.